Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the virtual boot room. It may be virtual, but the smell of deep heat is still in the air, and we are here to look ahead to Ipswich Town's third League One game of the season. It's Rochdale at Portman Road this weekend. Ipswich have got 2 wins from 2 games. They're top of the league. Let's see if they can make it 3.
Well, this was the game where Ipswich Town fans were set to return to Portman Road, but the latest government updates have put an end to that. So the big question is, will that suit Ipswich Town going forwards? Paul Lambert is at pains to tell you it's not a positive for Ipswich, but this is the sort of game that Ipswich may have just felt the pressure of being overwhelming favourites in last season, a target on their backs, all of that sort of stuff. So perhaps if it's 0-0 after 20 minutes, this is a sort of game where the fans might have got a bit edgy, but hopefully no fans there will enable Ipswich to stick to the game plan and come out on top.
On paper, a home clash with Rochdale is one Ipswich really should be winning. They're a team that's been heavily impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. They've lost a lot of players. Senior striker Ian Henderson's gone. Luke Matheson, young fullback, is now departed. He was back on loan from Wolves, but he's gone now. Callum Camp's also gone. He's gone to Fleetwood, elsewhere in League One. So really, they've not recruited, but there's still a decent team. There's some good players in there. Paul McShane, very experienced centre-back. And in goal, Gavin Bazunu, on loan from Manchester City, made last week's League One Team of the Week following a clean sheet against Portsmouth. 24 shots Pompey had in that game. He didn't let in any of them. Hopefully, he doesn't produce the same this week.
Okay, this is the part where we pick our teams for the weekend. We know the formation is going to be 4-3-3, so that's an easy one. Couple of little selection headaches for Paul Lambert, but I think it will be fairly similar to what we've seen thus far. It will be Holy in goal, Chambers still at right back. I think Wilson and Enciala will continue at centre-back despite McGuinness's arrival on loan and Wolfenden being available from injury. Again, Ward at left-back, that's a definite. Central midfield, this is where it gets interesting. Dazelle, definite at the base of that 3. Nolan, definite, arguably their man of the match in the last 2 games. The big question is, does Flynn Downs start after 2 impressive cameos last week? Teddy Bishop would be the one that potentially would drop out because he was a little bit quieter against Bristol Rovers last weekend. I've toyed with this one. For me, give Teddy one more game. I think it would be harsh for him to drop out after one quiet 60 minutes. He scored. He could have had 2 against Wigan. Give Teddy one more game in there. Perhaps use Flynn as an option off the bench again. Front 3, Sears, Norwood, Edwards. I think that will continue. Edwards was pretty lively last weekend. Andy, what do you reckon?
I think we're going to see an unchanged team. Downs would be the one. He's going to get back into this team sooner rather than later. Maybe sooner. I'd consider putting him back in. I think the other question mark is the central striker. Did Ollie Hawkins come off the bench and do enough against Bristol Rovers to oust James Norwood? It's those two really battling for that. But for me, no. I still want to see James Norwood. He's their best chance of scoring goals from the central striker position. So I'd go with James Norwood. The bench is going to be interesting. There could be plenty of players coming back onto that. Wolfenden, you've mentioned previously. Caden Jackson's back in training. Alan Judge back in training. He needs to come back onto the bench. And Cole Skews as well was trained. Maybe a little bit early for a few of them, but give it a week or so and Paul Lambert's going to have some real decisions to make regarding his match day 18, let alone his starting 11.
Right then, prediction time. I can't see anything but an Ipswich Town win. Famous last words. I'll go for another little 2-0 for Ipswich. Another clean sheet, another couple of goals. The momentum carries onwards.
I'm going to add to you. There's Ipswich really should win this game. I think they will win this game. I think they might up their score tally a little bit and go 3-0 in this one. And I think we're going to see a striker get on the score sheet for the first time this season as well. James Norwood to bag. And you never know, Ollie Hawkins may also get off the mark for the Blues in the second half if he comes on. 3-0.